Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to another week, another stream of constant MTG. How is everybody doing this lovely Thursday evening, wherever you are? We've got a ton of folks in the chat. We
Mhm.
got we got Cheezer and Ultimate. We got MK Shafe. Got Hunter in the
MK.
chat. And yeah, this week we've got Jared back. He's back from Vegas, baby.
Yep.
And he's lost everything. All the funds that we sent him with, they're all gone.
They're all gone. Yep. Yep.
Um, but with lots of stories to bring back.
He
So many
also,
stories.
yeah, he blew it all on all the right things. I mean, a lot of magic cards, a lot of collectibles, a lot of good stories. Um, so he definitely we lived vicariously through you this last week. So it's good to have you back. Um, And yeah, it's good to see you. You look great. You look so Vegased up. So
I'm
you got your goblin hat on. You're just like you're back, dude.
I'm back. I'm back, and only like mortally wounded on half of my body. It was a good time. I did have a fairly significant family emergency that took me home, kind of a day and a half early. But I'm here. I'm feeling good. I'm just excited to see both of y'all's faces. The constant crew had a blast in Vegas with me, and then without me for the last day. And we learned a lot. We learned a lot for our first outing. And so there's a lot of kind of pearls of wisdom that I can't wait to share, in addition to all the dumb stuff we bought. But I will say this. I spent a bunch of money. And then I always, whenever I'm in Vegas, I always try to pop something in a slot machine, even though I know that the chances are grim. And I popped $100 in a slot machine and basically made back in 5 minutes everything I spent in Vegas. So
Shut
that
up.
was
Wow.
pretty freaking amazing. And I also know when to stop. Like as soon as I hit, I'm like, I'm out. I'm done.
Oh, you're not one
you
of
know,
those. You're not one of those slot players that says like, "Oh, I'm on a hot streak," and then the next poll you lose every single cent you just made.
You only get hot for a moment in Vegas, and if you don't capitalize that moment, you get cooled off pretty quick. So
Yeah.
it was a progressive slot machine with little piggy banks. There was a blue one, a red one, and a green one. The red one's name was Bubba, and the green one's name was Pickles. And I don't remember what the blue one was, but it was progressive slot. So the pigs get bigger, and essentially when they get big enough, they start to crack. And then if you can manage to crack one, you go into like a bonus round, and you're basically guaranteed to get something. And
Okay.
so I cracked two piggies at once. I sat at a slot machine where the pigs were already pretty plump, and so cracked the red Bubba as well as the blue one. I think his name was Chili or Iceberg or something. And then almost $700 came shooting out of that machine. So it was pretty darn cool. Pretty cool.
Jeez
what I
Louise.
really
Well, congrats.
appreciate about Vegas is that you can always just put it on either black or red, and those are the two best colors, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, just like my Setzer deck. It's black or red or bust,
Mhm.
with the help of Pickles and Bubba and Iceberg.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so we're back. We're back from Vegas. Last week on stream, just recapping, Ian and I, we had to sort of try to hold it together. So
What did y'all do with
we did our best to try to fix a deck, one of Hunter's messes of a decks. I think we succeeded because he sent a lot of the cards that we added to that deck list into the trades channel in our Discord.
Yep, I was gonna say he definitely sent his wish list is now almost all the cards that we suggested he add to this deck. It was a honestly, it was a pretty good stream. The format seemed very well received. We got a lot of good feedback on the deck doctors. I don't know, we don't have like a name for it yet, but
Constant
we've
clinic. kind of is what
Constant
is like
Clinic. Yeah.
the running title.
But
Doctors,
I do want
I like it. I like
I
it.
do want to shout out MK Shafe, who joined last week, and got chatting in chat, was really active in chat, and then ended up joining the Discord. And he's
Yep.
actually posted, or they've posted their deck to the Discord. They're doing more like standard play, but the deck they posted is like super cool. And so, yeah, welcome back, MK Shafe. Thanks for joining back. It was
Yep.
great to see you join right away. So, you'll get to see a different flavor of what we do on the stream. But this one is kind of special with Jared getting back from Vegas and having so much to bring back and share with us.
Absolutely. We got
Hey,
Will in
Will.
the chat as well. And of course, Evelyn in the Discord is saying that we do need to bully Clark because he chose draft night over stream night.
Yikes. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll definitely make sure that we set permissions on the video so he cannot see it. And we'll hold that over his head for a very long time. Actually, just real quick on the deck teching, what was really cool about it, we put a PSA out there to those that joined last week. If you had decks that you wanted us to look at, and take into stream, and do kind of the clinic with, I think we got 4 or 5 decks submitted to us,
Yeah.
just within an hour of finishing stream. So we have plenty of decks, from 4 of you that we can look through, and do on stream. And again, if anybody has any other decks that they want us to look through, that'll be an open invite, I think, in the Discord as well, as people are in there. I think that'll be something that will give us plenty to chat through on streams like this. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be its own thing.
Who knows?
It was
Maybe.
fun. It was fun.
Well, I figure we could start it off with Jared and Goose were able to get a fantastic video that went up live earlier on the YouTube channel, but we have specifically barred Ian from watching it. He's given us his word. He has not watched it. So we want to get a live reaction of him watching this video.
Okay.
Jared, what do you think? Do we play it? What's the move?
Yeah, I could do a little bit of a setup here. So we went to an event called, it was called Commander and Cocktails. And so, I know we'll go through the kind of the whole con retro so that people know, like, I think we're going to go to Atlanta, or at least we want to try our damnedest to get there. And there's a lot of things. There is a learning curve to all of this, by the way. And I was a total idiot on some things. Some things we nailed. And so I do want to just kind of share some of our decisions and indecisions and learns. But this was a Commander and Cocktails event that you sign up for. And on your first day, when you pick up all your gear, you're given booster packs to build a deck. And so you're supposed to make a Commander deck out of a bunch of booster packs. And it was like a Mystery Booster 2 box, but it was filled with just a bunch of different booster packs. There was Ninja Turtles, there was Mystery Booster, there was Strixhaven, there was, kind of a slew of things. Commander Masters. There was some good stuff in there, y'all. And then you're promised that if you go to this event, you get a tiki glass and some drink vouchers, and they've had some magic themed beverages. And so we get there, and the event is hosted by none other than BDM Brian David Marshall, who is like, I love him and Marshall Sutcliffe on the Pro Tour in terms of commentators. They are like my favorite people to have talking about top 8, top 4, and finals games. They are like the Pro Tour masterminds. And so got a little starstruck, went to BDM's event. We get a loot tiki mug, which I'm kind of a collector of tiki mugs already. And so it was pretty cool that we got this this tiki mug.
Dude, that's so cute.
It's super cute. Blue on the inside. And so you got that for signing up. You got a bunch of booster packs for signing up. You got drink vouchers, which in Vegas, if you're drinking, you're looking at $15 to $18 a drink without even breaking a sweat. Yeah. And so that felt like a really good value. But BDM was making his rounds talking to people, and very quickly Goose and I looked at each other, and we'd already gotten a shout out from Gavin earlier in the week. And I was like, we got to get BDM to talk about the site a little bit. And I was like, Goose, give me your 3D printed microphone. So the mic that BDM is holding is our mic that we set up like on the fly. And Goose is like, what are you going to do? And I was like, shut up and just wait. And I went up to him and I said, hey, BDM, would you mind doing an interview with us? We built some really salty commander decks for your event tonight. And he was like, oh, heck yes. And so we were equal parts, like super flattered that he was willing to sit with us for about 5 minutes and do this whole shtick and talk a little bit about the event. And, he was just a great sport. And, he wants to stay in touch. We showed him, we kind of told him what we were all about. We talked to him about the token project, which was a huge hit. And we can get into that later, but that was like our inside track to connecting and making connections with meaningful people in the community, was, kind of us supporting local artists in the way we have been. So really great. That's the best setup I can give without spoiling it too much. But go ahead, Zach, and roll tape.
All right, let's get into it.
I'm excited. I haven't seen this, by the way. They changed the YouTube password on me, so I don't know. I haven't seen any of this.
Brian David Marshall here at MagicCon Las Vegas, and I am talking to the Constant MTG folks about their decks here for the Commander and Cocktails Boxing League event. Jared, tell me what you built.
So I built Lisa Shroud of Dusk.
Wow, you're kind of a jerk, huh?
Total jerk. I'm trying to gain life, make sure my opponents lose lots of life. And very salty. Whenever a player casts a spell, they lose 2 life. And she's a 5/5 lifelink with flying that avoids commander attacks.
Damn. How did you find
He's,
building
like,
the deck?
speechless.
Tell me, did you have enough cards? Are you playing with anything that you weren't expecting to be playing with in this format?
So this card is not a Strixhaven card, but it fits really well with Silverquill's plan. And so I actually found it really easy to integrate Strixhaven cards in this, and just if it's got lifelink and it's low and it's flying and has some evasion, that's it. It's game over. So pretty simple plan. Lots of targeted removal to trigger the repartee, and I did get Silverquill himself. So I got lucky. I got some good pulls.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
Damn, dude.
All right, Goose, how are we going to do this? Goose is running the camera and also has a similarly exciting build here. Tell me about this deck.
So I was really excited when this poll happened. We were sitting in the hotel room last night, and I ripped the pack, and I was like, oh! And it was Grand Arbiter Augustine.
Oh my god.
You know.
That's so
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
Dude.
So my whole goal, we
Disgusting.
did play test it once, my whole goal is just to stop whoever I'm playing against until I can just get something out that has some sort of evasion and just win through attrition.
So it's like kind of, you're looking for the zero-sum philosophy of a game of Commander. One person has all the fun. No one else has any fun.
Correct. Yeah, this is not the make friends Commander game, but I was really excited. I actually think, based off the polls that I got, I might keep this together. Like, I was really impressed with how that all played out. The variety of packs that were in that box.
Please trade it to Ian.
It was really exciting opening these packs up. I had several of them. I've never even opened one of those before, and it was just amazing to see it. Yeah, just a great event.
That's awesome to hear. Honestly, all sincerely, one of the things I hope people will do is keep these decks together when they leave these events. And as you go to events and people have these decks, it becomes almost another format where everyone has a one-box deck or I added this many packs to it. I have a deck. So this is a format that I designed with Sheldon Menery during the pandemic. We wanted to play Magic together. We wanted to play Commander. We didn't always see eye to eye on what was fun and what was jerky. I thought what I did was fun and what Sheldon did was jerky. And Sheldon thought what I did was jerky and what he did was fun.
Yeah.
So we were really like a little like, oh, okay, well, we'll play Commander, we'll do something. And then we started talking about the idea of doing a Commander boxing league. And to take us back to this really innocent time where you had a group of friends and you all agreed to buy like 24 packs. And nobody is going to buy another pack. This is it. This is all we ever buy. And that's always played out exactly that way for everyone, right?
Yeah.
And that you're forced to play with cards that maybe you wouldn't play with normally, and just trying to get a deck built. So that was our goal, and really trying to harken back to an innocent time. And you guys have ruined it with your awful, horrible commanders.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Thank you so much.
All sincerity again. Thank you so much for being at the event.
Yeah.
I really appreciate people who come out and share this with me. There's a lot of things you can do at MagicCon, and the fact that you chose to allocate some of those resources to this event is very meaningful to me, and I appreciate you both.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Dude, holy cow. That's so first of all, could you have pulled just more disgusting cards?
They were awful.
To like the fact that Goose got Grand Arbiter is like, I'm actually kind of worried as kind of the Pods Azorius control player that I might have someone else that catches the bug and ends up wanting to do more of that.
He found blue. He found blue in a big way.
God.
We did a heads up practice game, and I just couldn't do anything. And that is sort of the game plan. I think he found blue, and I think he lit up blue. His aura is now firmly in the blue category.
All right. So remind me never play a game with Goose again.
Listen, Goose, if y'all don't know Goose is like the ultimate troll. So the fact that he didn't
Tell me more.
understand that the fact that he didn't understand that blue was just a troll color is it was I think a benefit to us all at first, and now it seems like he might have we might have an issue on our hands.
Yeah.
But listen, first of all, I'm like blown away that BDM was kind enough to come chat with you guys. And I mean, just like, man, that's one thing that I picked up from connecting with you guys over the weekend as you were at the convention, was just how open everyone was to talking and just enjoying the game together and sharing the experience. Like there were no like, you could talk to someone that has hundreds of thousands of followers, or a influencer, or a pro tour announcer that, I mean, I've been watching him on a screen in my life for, I mean, probably close to almost 20 years. So that's just crazy. I'm kind of speechless, but also like sort of emotional at the same time.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really cool.
Every
also,
single
why
time
does
they
it-
were. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, he should have his own commander cards like they printed for Sheldon. He's just such a, like, he is like a cornerstone in Magic. Like, he's just been around forever. He was one of the best players, like, early on. He announces. He's just been around the game the whole time it's been a game. So, man, how cool. And I'm so glad you didn't show me that or let me see it until now. Because wow, that I can't, I have no words.
And I think he was skeptical when we told him. We were like, hey, interview us about our salty commanders. And then very quickly he was like, oh, they really did pull the saltiest commanders.
Yeah.
Good pull.
Yeah.
They're pretty. And he was like, oh, shoot. So it was genuine reactions. We probably spoke to him for maybe 10, 15 minutes afterwards. We ended up also
That's
meeting
awesome.
a guy who we want to bring on the show, who did a panel with Mark Poole. He's like a college art professor, and he does like magic art composition theory. So he
wow.
like gets really nerdy about art. And so, like I said, I think our token project really was just such a fabulous gateway into making connections and hopefully being able to bring some pretty cool people on the show and talk about this stuff.
Talk more about that, the token project, because I don't think we've talked about it too much on the show.
Yeah, so the token project is something that we started several months ago, and actually Goose, to give him credit, Real Goose has been the sort of founder mastermind behind the tech needed to make tokens. So we're not a proxy group, and no shade for those who are, but we don't typically play proxies. But I think the exception we make is for tokens. The idea of being able to proxy tokens, I think, is
Yeah.
totally acceptable in our group. And at one point, it dawned on us that we have artists in our community, we have artists that we know. And so, as a platform to get them exposure and to get us exposure, why not make a token with our business card on the back? And why
Yeah.
not target people that really are, if you choose art as your career, you're choosing a pretty uphill battle. And I think Magic is a game that is about, silly cards doing crazy things, but at its core, it's about great artwork. I mean, it's the
Oh,
reason why
yeah.
we're drawn to the game. It's always been that way.
Mhm.
And so there's just like this link between the art and us that I think is really great. And, I think at least twice now, once or twice now, we've shown off a couple of the tokens in our constant misplaced content, and we are going to continue to do so. But hit us up, man. If you come and see us in person, if you see us at MagicCon, I probably gave out at least 100 tokens just to people waiting in line.
Yeah.
Can be really tricky and just make you feel pressed for time because you have a very rigid schedule. And so I struck up conversation with every time I was in a line, the 4 people surrounding me in line, I would always strike up a conversation, see what they were about, and then surprise them with a little gift, some stickers, and some tokens. And I will say the tokens were wildly popular. Some of our favorite artists that I gave tokens to thought it was really cool that we were doing that. Ian and I share Wizard of Barge as being one of our absolute favorite artists of the game. He's from Houston originally.
Top 3.
And so I told him about the project and that 2 of the 3 artists are from Houston. And he's actually an art teacher himself. That's
really?
like his day job.
Really?
And yeah, he teaches high school art. And I told him, hey, we've got an open offer out with a few other art teachers if you've got aspiring artists in your class. And once they turn 18, you want to kind of send them our way for some exposure. We would love to do that. And he just thought it was super cool. And he took several of our tokens. He was like, these are amazing. How many can I have? I was like, I don't know. How many? What do you want, man? You can have them all.
That's
awesome.
That's awesome.
Really cool.
No,
Yeah.
Wizard of Barge, I think, is like one of the, and Goblin Storm, his secret layer Goblin deck just got announced, which I'm so stoked for. I think he has such like a really cool art style that really draws me in as well.
And he was one of the first. He was one of the first, so it was actually before they did the artist series Secret Layer. He just did a secret layer, and it was he had like mimeoplasm. He had necrotic ooze,
Dark Ritual.
No. Dark Ritual is that's a tournament card. I think there's only one of them or something. It's like hundreds of thousands of dollars. But yeah, that was like one of the first secret layers. It wasn't printed in foil. It was only non-foil. That was actually one of the first times I really got exposed to his art. And I just love it. It's that like perfect balance of like, the like cartoon kind of crazy kind of stuff I watched growing up mixed with just like humor. It's like humor and childhood and like all these different things that ends up making me feel. And yeah, Jared, I mean, like art for me is something I've always been drawn to in the game, almost to my detriment, because I will play cards that are objectively worse because I like the art more.
Cool. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much most of the decisions I make for decks or things that I'm drawn to typically end up boiling down to art, the composition, the feeling of what I'm seeing, and it's very important to me in the game. So It was really cool that the tokens were, received as well. And I know, I think Zach put it in chat, but in preparation for the convention, we ended up putting together, and it was kind of a work in progress for a little bit, but we got it over the finish line for the convention. But there's a tab in Constant List now at the top that's it's our community tab, and if you click on that, that's an ever growing space. So we have a sub tab in there for vendors. So that's anywhere from like local shops, our sponsor Big Deck Energy Games, which we'll shout out later, to there's a really great shop that I found through Instagram called Basic Lands, and they sell
Yeah.
some super cool clothing. And the owner is like the nicest person. And like I just reached out and asked if they'd be interested in just having a space to advertise their stuff, and they were like, "Yeah, if you're cool with that." So we have vendors. We have a whole tab, a sub tab for all of our artists. So the artists that we have up there right now are the artists that we put on the tokens. So you can see if they have social media, there will be links to their social media and or portfolio websites. And you can also see all the tokens that were printed under their respective art that we brought to the con. We also have a section for content creators. As of today, we had our first new ad to that space. We only had our group, Constant MTG, on there, but Zach made friends with a streamer, a influencer named Mac Apple. You may know him. He was generous enough to allow us to put him up there, which was like such a huge, cool deal. And then we also just this week started publishing articles. So we have, I think now 5 different people on through the Discord and through our community that are writing articles. And just we're doing all sorts of stuff, opinions on standard, opinions on just the game in general. And then just my favorite thing is talking about weird cards. So there's a lot of stuff going on the website, and a lot of it is really in the community space, which is really where we've wanted this to get to as we've been working through this project, through getting the YouTube up, getting people into Discord. It's really morphed into something pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that everyone says, it's always so cheesy, but it's true, is the magic is the gathering, guys.
Yes, yes, indeed. Well, and I'll take that as a segue. We'll keep talking about art because, spoiler alert, Goose and I agreed unanimously, and we were there with 2 other folks that are heavily involved in our group. And I don't know how much of a shout out they want, but Greg, who's always in the chat, was there with his brother, Stevie. And I think unanimous across all 4 of us was the best part of the con was not playing Magic, was not the swag, it was the Artist Alley. We probably spent 70% of our time in Artist Alley, and we came away with really incredible memories more than anything. A signature is a signature, but when a signature comes along with a cool story and a memory and meeting somebody you look up to in terms of the craft of the game, it was a lot more significant than I think we initially thought. And so I actually think the next time I go, I'll still sign up for some events, but I'm going to remember that, hey, like, you're going to want to spend a good percentage of your days at Artist Alley getting stuff signed, meeting artists you've always wanted to meet. And so if y'all are good, I have some goodies to show off, some acquisitions.
Let's do it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I
have to avert my eyes, otherwise I'm just going to start drooling again, but go for it.
Yeah. So I did target some old school favorites and new school favorites. And so I want to start off with old school favorites because this guy, Ian and I share our love of RK Post, Randy Post, who not only is he like one of the like original great artists of Magic, he also is just like the nicest, kindest guy. And so when I rolled in with a stack of cards this thick to get signed by him, I was like, hey, I got like 10 cards here, but I know you get lines. You probably haven't had a break. Like, what's your maximum? And he was like, there is no max, man. Like, let's see what you got. And he was actually really excited that I brought some of these cards to sign because maybe they weren't as typical for Randy stuff. So we'll go through his stuff quickly. I think his signature is really cool and stylized. So we've got, Death March, Hollow Spectre, Icarid, Nefashu.
Can we stop real quick on Icarid? So Icarid was like, I remember back when that was in Standard and like in the Pro Tour, and it was like a top tier deck was running 4 Icarids, and it like couldn't be stopped. It was like this weird time where this 3/1 hasty, stompy, flashbacky, or unearthy creature was just like unstoppable, and I fell in love with that card.
Such a good card.
So
It's
I
so
have
fun.
4 of them, and I totally forgot that he illustrated that card, and so I pulled a couple of them for whenever we can get to a con where he'll be, because dude, I gotta get that card signed. It's just such a cool card.
It's a good one. It's a banger, and so is Nefashu. Big fan of this one. Old school also. You'll notice some of the signatures are a little different than others. I paid extra for some of my favorites. Like this is a Shadow Avatar Flow, which I think both of you know is my favorite card of all time. Favorite art. Love it so much. I think that's Zach's Avatar of Woe, and that's Ian's Avatar of Woe, and there's Jared's Avatar of Woe. How about that? We've got an Unmask. Another Unmask.
Unmask is just incredible.
Unmask is cool. The reference in the
Spider-Man
best set of all time, Spider-Man.
That they did in Spider-Man.
When they brought that into Spider-Man, I was like, oh my god, that is amazing.
There, if I hold it like this, we don't get as much glare. Lightning Angel, another classic. Okay. So those are the RK Post signatures. And again, spent quite a bit of time chatting with him. Ended up buying one of his metal tokens. I've been wanting this gold metal Deadpool treasure token. So I went ahead and picked that one up.
He's got some killer tokens. One of the best tokens I've ever seen is on his website. And it's Zach will love this one. It's for Oko, and it is an elk token.
Oh, God.
And it's actually it's clear in the center, so it just goes over the art of the card, but it renames the card and repower and toughness the card and blocks out all the ability text. It's amazing.
I love it. I love it. All right, so we went old school. Let's go new school. Let's go a little bit newer, a little bit fresher. Justine Jones was our first artist hang of the con, and she's got a great signature. She's just a lovely human. The pens she uses are like paint pens, and so they take a little while to dry. And she was immediately like, I gave her my stuff, she signed it, and she was like, here, just hang out with me for a little bit and let's chat while we wait for the paint to dry. And so that's just kind of the vibe. Like, everybody's so cool. You're talking to people in line. Everybody's in it to win it. So I got a Shadow Heart. I got my boy Raphael.
Oh, I'm so jealous of that. I love Raphael.
I got my girl Lazelle. And then for my commander deck, my Morphon, everybody's welcome. Alternate commander in that deck is the Reaper King. And could not wait. And I don't know if you can see it very well on camera, but it's like a kind of a seafoam green and pink double shadow situation. Looks really cool.
That's awesome.
So she was awesome. She's great. She's from Philadelphia. We chatted for a while. Showed her some tokens. We did the whole thing.
One of my favorite cities.
She was fabulous. She was awesome. And we invited her down to Austin to come and hang and play some games. And she was like, I've always wanted to come to Austin. So you never know.
Yeah, that's actually something I wonder. And maybe you can tell us, do the artists play Magic too? Do most of them play the game as well? Or are they?
Yeah.
Okay. I've always wondered
Barge
that. Like,
is like a super, by the way. Dakota from Wizard of Barge is a super fan. So he plays. He's got Wooburg tattooed on his arm. I showed him my Wooburg on my arm, and we like smushed our arms together. But yeah, I would say the older artists, like the more classic artists, I think are less likely to play because, back then they were just being commissioned to do a game thing. But I think the younger artists, like, how do they get into this? Well, it's through the game. And so that's kind of the vibe I got. But even the folks that have been in it for 25 years plus just have an appreciation for the game that is like, it's palpable. Like, you feel how much they respect the game. And that's the perfect segue because this guy's been around for a long time. He's got a banging signature. It's Scott M. Fisher, and his signature is a fish. It's an S and a fish. And so one of the things that...
dude, these were so cool. Sorry, when you posted these, I was like, oh my God, that pariah is so good.
Well, so I told Scott a story about another card I'll show in a second and how sentimental and meaningful it was to me. And I was like, hey, this card's worth a lot and it would be really great. Like, I'll pay whatever you want if you can just like do something a little extra on the card. And he was like, we're not supposed to do alters, but I got you covered. And then when I pulled out Pariah, I was like, this color combo is so good. Can you just do the halo in the color combo? And he's like, all right, don't tell anybody. So it's like one of those things. But this turned out so cool and so weird that he picked like seafoam green and purple for this art. But I think it just looks stunning. I think it's so freaking cool. And the fact that he did the little halo altar is hilarious.
That's awesome.
So Scott Fisher, he's been in the game a long time. The coat of arms for my bird deck, my Christmas coat, is another one. And then this card I pulled at a pre-release when it came out and got accused of rare drafting. So it was a booster draft. And a couple of guys at the table were like, oh, you took this card, you're just rare drafting. And then I ended up whooping everybody's butt with a blue control deck in draft. It's my foil original Kamigawa time stop. And so Scott was like,
why wouldn't you take that? I mean, just in general, like I would rare draft it 100%.
It's awesome. And so he was like, yeah, let me put some extra gears in here. And so if you notice in the top right corner, top left corner, he put a couple more golden gears spinning or not spinning because they've been stopped. And so this is a really meaningful card for me. I'll probably never get rid of it. And that's the cool thing about signatures. I think to the right person, they increase the value. And to the right person, they increase the value infinite. Like, to me, these are sentimental, never trades.
Yeah.
And so, like, the value, well, you can't place a value on that. Okay, so we're alternating new school, old school. Let's go back to new school. This guy's been around for a bit, but he is considered a new school artist. Super nice. I knew because of the secret layer that the line to see Kieran Yanner was going to be impossible. And throughout the con, every few hours when I had a break from something, I go back to Artist Alley and I go scope out his line. And I caught him right at the end of the day and didn't have to wait too terribly long and was able to connect with him and learn some pretty cool stuff. So Kieran's got a very cool signature, and he has some custom signatures that are really great. I did a few of those, and then I didn't want to break the bank too much, and so I did the regular signatures, which are still incredible. So I got his inked Lord of the Pit signed, Armageddon, because you can never have too many of those. There's another, what is that one? That one's the Paladin, Northern Paladin.
Oh, yeah.
That one.
Lord of the Pit.
The other Lord of the Pit, the fully inked. And then we get into the cool stuff. There's the Demonic Tutor that goes in my Y'shtola deck. And he did sort of a gradiated pink, gold, or purple, gold, blue situation. And then there's another inked Lord of the Pit. That's like pink, purple. This card I'll stop on for a minute. We'll come back to this in a second, so I'll put it in the back. Yeah. Warlock class. Didn't even know that was here.
Dude, I didn't know he did Warlock class. And when you showed that in our chat, I was like, first of all, I love that card. I have a deck that runs 4 of those that does work. Yep. And 2, I love that he signed it vertically up the text box. It's so cool.
Yeah. It's a good one. And then my all-time favorite is the Rainbow Aerobics foil Iskrump.
Shake Weight.
That goes
The
right
Shake
to my
Weight.
Deadpool deck and is so good and so funny. And
The
so
pens too. The pens that these artists were. I didn't know if you provided them or if the artist did, but when you sent the pictures, I was like, these pens are crazy. Like how vibrant they are, and just the effect that you get off of them on the card is it's just wild.
they all have different setups. We brought a bunch of pens, probably 100 pens. I bought like a 40 pack of Sharpies, all different colors. Goose had a bunch of acrylic pens. We brought them the first day and we realized, like, oh, we're idiots. Of course they have like 10 times better pen.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
And
so,
then the,
and that's the stuff like I don't know
that's the
I
stuff you
mean,
don't
if you've never
know.
been to a con, that's such good
You wouldn't
advice.
know.
Like, you don't
Yeah.
need to bring pens. Like the artists have you
Don't worry about
covered.
it.
Yeah, that's a
Yep. And like
huge
Kieran's
tip.
pens take a little longer to dry, and so he actually has a drying zone that he puts. Like he has a fan that's like, you know, maybe 2.5 inches above a platform, and then he puts all the cards in the platform, and he dual processes his signatures. So he does the gold first, puts it under the fan, signs gold on your other stuff, and then starts retrieving the gold ones to do the color stuff over it. And so they all have kind of a method to their mayhem.
Wow.
Goose, who hopefully will get a chance to show some of his at some point, got a signature that used like not gold leaf, but like a silver version of it, where they sort of painted on the card and then used a heat gun to make it tacky, and then painted the whole card with gold leaf, and then like laminated it, and then all the leaf sort of came off except for the signature. It's crazy. You'll have to see it in person. It's wild. It's like a super crazy one. It was his Ashling. He got.
Of course it was. Of course it was.
It was amazing. We didn't even know that artist was there, and so he like dropped everything and ran away like with his deck box to go get his Ashling signed. So it was pretty cool. So back to this one. I didn't realize that my man Kieran did the curses, all of them.
I didn't know that either.
If only I had my curses deck, I would have just been there entirely too long with him, getting all of them signed. But here's the funny part. Kieran kind of looks like the guy featured in all the curses, and I asked him about it. It's not him. It's his son. So all of the curse guys are Kieran Yanner's son. And then this card, I was lucky, is the only one of the curses that does feature Kieran in the background. I'm going to point my finger to it and get real close. Okay, wait. Let's do this. Okay, so his son is here, and then this guy right here, that's Kieran Yanner.
That is such an awesome little factoid. That makes me so happy to know that now.
It's so cool. So that was like, that's the kind of stuff you get, you know, like I said, I mean, it was magical talking to these guys. You know, part of this is because, you know, you learn all these crazy things that you just never would have even considered. So very, very cool. A couple more to show you. I forgot about the Justine Jones token. Don't be mad at me, Justine. But her Changeling token is metal and super neat and signed.
Dang, dude.
So that was a good one.
Wow.
And then very new school artist, hot off the presses, got his first banger that people are seeking out everywhere. He didn't even have an artist table. So Justine actually kind of told us about this secretly, and people had gotten wind of it. But Josh Fredkiss is an up-and-coming artist, and you'll see in a second why. Didn't have time to get his own booth, which artists pay for. I think it's like $1,500 to get your own artist booth. Instead, he was hiding out at Card Kingdom's booth doing signings, and they basically sponsored the whole thing for him. So he paid $0. And once people figured out he was there, they started to line up. And so it was like a secret artist alley. And the reason that you'd know Josh is he is the one who did the Blacklight Secret Lair. So he is amazing. He's very interested in the token project, was kind of in love with that concept. And I got 2 very special cards signed from him that go in my Dungeon Crawler Carl deck. So one of them is the Displacer Kitten, and then the other one is Sephris. and you can kind of tell like he goes white first and then does color over it, and so there's sort of like this contrasty like pop that happens with these signatures. I mean, again, the artistry even in the signature game is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
I love how much care that they put into it.
Yeah, and people are willing to wait because they know that their special time is coming too, and so the lines never felt like malicious or like there wasn't that like I'm like hurry up kind of thing.
Yeah.
None of that.
Well,
in
like
fact,
you said, you like striking up conversations with the people in line, getting to know the people there that are waiting, talking about what cards that they brought to sign, what excites them about getting them signed. Like that's just awesome, man. I'm so happy.
Well, and like anytime, like when I go to card traders and I'm looking through bulk at the counter, there's always somebody next to me or a couple of people next to me, and every time, like you can just ask, "Hey, what deck are you looking for cards for?" And everyone always wants to talk about what they're building or what they're looking for or why they're interested in the card that they're looking for. Like that's what I always love so much about the Magic community, just the people that we get to interact with in our groups is it's so easy to strike up a conversation. You could easily figure out something to talk about at any given time when it comes to this stuff. So yeah, it's like you're basically hanging out with friends the whole time. You just don't know them yet, and you just have to have that one little piece of conversation to get them talking and start chatting about the game or whatever it is. Everyone's there with a very strong shared interest. It's really cool.
Super, super cool. I wasn't looking at the chat and then I just did, and it looks like Hunter is in love with my signatures, which is great because I'm in love with Hunter, so it's sort of like a cool thing.
Yeah, it's cute.
Why don't we go to a sponsor read, and then I'd love to show you all what I bought that wasn't signatures, if that seems. And then maybe we could I can answer some questions about the con or give you kind of a run of show, like what to expect day 1, day 2, day 3 kind of thing.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, we'll do a read of the sponsor here. And actually, Anthony from Big Deck Energy Games was at MagicCon as well, which was awesome. I don't believe we got to connect with him in person, but I believe he also had a pretty good time from what it sounded like. So speaking of Anthony from Big Deck Energy Games, we'll give a shout out to Big Deck Energy Games, who is our sponsor, our first store sponsor these days. Deeply community focused, committed to fair pricing, genuinely passionate about the games that they carry in their shop. It's definitely the kind of shop that we would all want to go to, where they're not trying to squeeze all the money out of our pockets, but just to build a space where people can play, they can learn, they can trade, they can hang out, and just enjoy gaming for all that we love it for. They are in Cathedral City, California, which is in the Coachella Valley. So if you're familiar, if you like music, if you like golf, or if you like national parks, you probably know about Coachella Valley for Coachella Music Festival, for Palm Springs, golfing, or for Joshua Tree National Park. All three of those spots would be awesome to play Magic the Gathering in. So definitely, bring your decks out there when you go. Pop into Big Deck Energy Games and give them a shout out, say hello, and send them some business. You can also support them online if you don't live in California near them by going to bigdeckenergygames.com. And we're super proud to have them as our first business sponsor. And even more excited to be partnered with a store that shares the same philosophy that we do and will continue to have, which is that, we build the community and then the rest will follow from there. So thanks, Big Deck Energy Games. Jared, we'll go back to you and we can keep talking about the con.
Yep. So why don't we do this? We'll do a chronological here and just give you kind of everything you need to know. And we'll talk through kind of how I experienced the con, and we'll get into sort of the buying and trading, and that'll kind of organically take us to things that I bought. So a couple of tips before going. I think the biggest thing, especially Goose and I found out, I spent weeks trying to figure out what the perfect backpack, the perfect storage solution was. Like really being deliberate, because you're at this con for 12, 13 hours and carrying around a ton of stuff is just not comfortable. And actually, number one, I'm going to return the backpack I bought. I didn't even bring it. I bought like a digital SLR backpack thinking that,
Oh, wow.
the customization of storage was going to be great. And then before I left, I was like, no way, forget it. Carrying around a binder is not amazing. Binders are heavy. And so I made the choice to 3D print a couple of these 80 card boxes, and I put all of my trades and signature cards in there. That was great. That ended up being really great. But the biggest takeaway was just bring your carry-on rolling luggage to the con. Instead of putting all of that weight on your back, just roll around a thing. It's so much more comfortable, so much easier, and you can actually fit a ton of stuff. And it really doesn't matter how much crap you pack in there, binders, cards, whatever. It just that ended up being the solution that carried us. The first day, I think we left thinking that we nailed it with just like our very minimal carry. And then we got home and we're like, oh, my back hurts, my neck hurts, my shoulder hurts. Like I had to create floors and lines and all of this stuff. So roll on bags. One with a drink holder, like you see these fancy ones now where you like sit on it or prop your phone up or have a drink holder. That seems like the vibe. That seems like the best way. I ended up just dumping out my carry-on luggage and putting on my Magic stuff in there, and it made a big difference. So that's number one. Number two, pack less decks than you think you're going to need. I played exactly 0, and this might be because I had to leave in an emergency, but I played 0 games with the decks that I brought from home. All the games I played were with decks from events where I was, building a deck for the purpose of doing this event. So I think I still probably would bring 3 next time, but just know that like any more than that, number one, there's a 0-sum chance that you may not play any of your decks that you bring from home. That's the reality. The cool thing about bringing your favorite decks from home is sometimes in Artist Alley, you realize there's an artist for a card in your deck. And so you can whip it out real quick and get it signed. So there's something about bringing your own decks. Just you don't need more than 3 or 4. I ran into people that brought 12 decks and were just complaining about carrying 12 decks around the whole con. So
that's just crazy. I mean, I think completed ready to play decks probably in the mid 20s to high 20s. And just I haven't even played every deck that I have ready to play with either of you. I mean, there's still like a large amount of decks I haven't played against you guys, and I've played against you guys a lot over the past few years. So bringing 12 decks, like, what are you doing? That's just like that's a lot of like it reminds me kind of like when we go to like a Disney trip or something like that, like the amount of overpacking that occurs in case of emergency. Like I feel like that's probably what people are doing is they're like, what if I get into this kind of pod? Like I want to be ready to play this deck, or like
if I meet these people, I want to play this deck because like this deck was inspired by these creators or something like that. I could see that line of thinking.
Yeah.
And if you're going to pick decks, I think pick decks that straddle the lines so that you don't have this crazy what if scenario. I brought a bracket 2 that could play in bracket 3 and 2 bracket 3s that could play in bracket 4. Just again, but I never did. And here's the other thing. The majority of the time, getting to a con is a gathering and you are meeting people constantly. And so don't let this seem counterintuitive. You're not going to meet people playing games because you don't have time. If you've signed up for a bunch of events, you don't really have time to sit at a free play table and play one of your own commander decks. You're going to meet people in events when you're building decks and playing decks, for sure. The most people you're going to meet are in line because you spend a lot of your time, I hate to say it, in lines. And so you're not playing your decks when you're in line. There's no way to do that. So that's an important thing.
It kind of reminds me of like when you go, if you've been on a work trip before and somebody, you're talking to someone and they're like, "Oh my God, when you're done with work today, like you have to go see this museum or go to this
Mhm.
restaurant." And I'm like, "Yo, I'm going to the hotel. I'm eating in the hotel restaurant, and then I'm going back up to my room and watching like crime shows. Like I am not going out of my way to do anything other than what I'm here to do," which I feel like it's like if you go on a vacation and you buy a souvenir that you could buy at home where you're from. Like you're at a place with an opportunity to do a lot of stuff that you never get to do. So for me, I'd be like, when I'm at the con, I'm going to do all the stuff I can't do when I'm at home in my normal, life. And then if I have time afterwards, like that would be when I would play games, like in the hotel or like find a good restaurant or something, for dinner that night and play there. But I would not. And listen, like I know everyone to each their own, but I feel like playing a game of Magic when you have the ability to network and meet people and just build relationships with other people that maybe you've wanted to just say hello to because of their art or their presence online or whoever it may be, like I would take that a million times over playing Watcher in the Water again.
Yep.
So
It really is. I mean, and here's the thing too. There are times there, and by all means, there are people that go to these cons to play, and those play tables, there are thousands of them, and they're busy.
yeah.
But every time I looked over there, I was like, "What do these people? Did these people fly across the country to just do the local game shop thing that they could do at home? Like, this is kind of interesting."
Yeah.
And it just wasn't the vibe. Now, maybe once I've gone to 2 or 3 of these and I kind of know the lay of the land a little better, there'll be more time. But even when we sit down at these tables, usually towards the end of the night, and this comes to my next hot tip for you, our feet were so just like dying. So invest in good shoes. I have these shoes that I bought for Disneyland, and they saved my butt, but my feet were still killing me. And so by the
Yeah.
time you actually get to the point, like at 7 o'clock at night, they start closing down vendors, and you've got certain areas that are open till midnight for play. You go and sit at a table, and maybe it's because we're old dads, but there are people playing games all around you. And the last thing I wanted to do was play a game. I was just like, I'll give people stickers if they say hi. I'm just dying. I'm so dead. So buy a good pair of sneakers, you know, plan to just sort of be exhausted, just physically and mentally exhausted. It's
Yep.
noisy. The stimulus is high. You're going, you've got waves of endorphins. Like I managed to get, the So Salty secret layers. I waited a long time to get these, and so endorphins go up, but I waited an hour and a half, and then they come crashing down, and then you go get something signed. Just expect the sort of hills and valleys of endorphins for sure.
Yeah.
I had a question. So like for like the gameplay, because like you said, like it maybe wasn't interesting. Is it any different, do you think, like if you were going to like the creator central zone rather than just like the generic command zone where like the other festival goers are? Like do you think you would want to play more commander games if it was with like creators you like either like whoever it might have been?
You know, we were at the Creator Central for a while, and it was pretty dead. It wasn't like
Mhm.
super crazy. Now the big panels obviously get audiences. Like Command Zone did their panel, and you could hear people screaming and shouting from across the whole con. But like the open creator area felt like a refuse more than anything else. So you just see creators over there just like sitting at the same kind of tables. They're just in a different section,
Mhm.
and mostly not playing a ton of Magic, mostly just recovering from the
I
con.
can't I
Uh,
can't imagine if you like I'm just thinking about what you guys were doing. Um, and I just can't imagine if you're a creator that you would be spending a lot of like time not socializing, networking, filming,
yep.
all of those different things that you're going to need to do. to come back and have things to post and talk about and kind of what we're doing here.
I don't know how
MK
they manage
Shafe,
it.
MK Shafe might have like an amazing idea. He says sneakers made me think that we should try to put together a survival pack for cons, luggage, sneakers, card boxes, etc., and then brand them. Guaranteed we'd sell a bunch. If we do that, we
I feel like I've got a solid handle on things now, but I definitely didn't. Ask me this question 4 days ago. I'd be like, I either would have been arrogant and been like, "Oh, I've been threading the needle on the perfect like everyday carry at con and sneakers and all this stuff," but I was woefully wrong because I messed up. But yeah, we could do some recommendations. That'd be funny. Top 5. We could do the starter pack meme. Where it's like the headpiece, we could do that. That's good, MK.
It's funny. Clark was just messaging me. Who let's just remind ourselves. Clark chose not to be here tonight. So if Evelyn is still here, just make sure that you pass that along to him. But Clark did have a good idea. He and I were talking earlier today because he was actually telling me that he's considering and shooting to be moving more into like the competitive tournament Magic space again. And he was actually asking if we could get some play mats and sleeves made for him to take on tournaments with him. So I need to look into that. But MK Shafe came in clutch. Maybe we could get some constant MTG Crocs. Or
I tell you what. So this actually is a perfect segue. So we'll go here. There are different tiers of badges you could buy at the con. There's a standard badge, there's a premium badge, there's a legendary badge, and then there's the Black Lotus Club. And I think the Black Lotus Club is in the neighborhood of $1,000. And if you're in the Black Lotus Club, you get access to exclusives like the Crocs. So you mentioned the Crocs. There were Magic the Gathering Crocs. I actually was perturbed, to say the least. I thought the Crocs were very poorly designed and could have been so much better. But the Black Lotus Club, they basically get first access for those Crocs, and they were like the only that could get a hold of them. So basically anybody we saw wearing these ugly Crocs, we knew was part of the Black Lotus. But one thing I will say is we did interview some people and ask them from Black Lotus how they felt about the cost. And one guy, shout outs to Raymond, he let us know that he felt like Black Lotus was a lot better at prior, and that this con, it didn't feel like a good value. And so I'll tee up the next story. Goose and I did a sneaky thing, an opportunistic thing. We found out that Quiver, who makes the bag that he and I both recently bought, which is, I think I showed it in one of the everyday carry videos. There's the Quiver bag. Now with my kiss your homies on the mouth, sticker. So we found out
Wizard
that the
of
Black
Barge,
Lotus,
baby.
Yeah, baby. The the Black Lotus Club got access to an exclusive MagicCon Black Lotus Club Quiver. And so what do? We went up to they have a private lounge. And this is one of the things that Raymond, our friend that we met, let us know was kind of silly. Like, they paid for the advantage of having this quiet, exclusive lounge, but you're at the con the whole time. Like, you don't have time to go to the lounge. And when you go to the lounge, nobody's there. So it's not even like you're making friends or anything. But Goose and I parked outside the exit of the lounge and waited for Black Lotuses to come out and basically asked them if they'd be willing, if they cared about the Quiver and wanted to sell it. And as it turns out, we found some folks that wanted to recoup some of the costs of their Black Lotus bag and didn't care about the Quiver. And so that was one of the cool things that I bought, was the exclusive MagicCon Black Lotus Quiver. And it's a little guy. It's significantly smaller. Probably.
Yeah, that's really tiny. That's like maybe two-thirds the size.
Yeah. And so you've got enough room for a few things. But it's great for, Friday Night Magic or Commander Magic. You could fit easily 4 Commander decks in here. if you just kind of pack it to the brim. So that was kind of a cool acquisition that we got.
You
This is
holding that
MagicCon.
upside down with the zipper open is like giving me anxiety.
Classic Jared fashion.
Just
Classic Jared.
chaos.
So that was pretty cool. I'll give some shout outs to some of the products we got in a second here because there's some cool stuff. So day one, we got there early, which I think everybody would have thought like, oh, let's go do the Disney ribbon cut thing. Get there right on time. We'll get stuff before anybody else, yada, yada, yada. Don't do this, people. This is the most important advice. The con opens at 10. If you get there at 8:30, they're going to corral you into a bullpen, and it's not going to smell nice, and it's concrete. And maybe you muster up the courage like I did to just give up and sit down. You're going to be waiting there until 10 a.m., and then it's going to be a bum rush to nothing. Everybody's going to be scattershot running around with their heads cut off, and there's no reason to do this. There's zero reason. We found out the hard way, and we're like, this is so dumb. So the two things we thought were going to happen. We thought the Magic merch line, which is where you could get the secret layer and the festivals in the box and all that stuff. We thought, oh, let's go there early before stuff sells out. That was number one. And then number two, you have to go to a booth to pick up the gear that you pre-ordered for all of your events. And so we're like, oh, we got to get to that. And when we got in, we were maybe 4 or 5 bullpens back. And by the time we got in, it was a 2.5-hour line to get your stuff and a 2-hour line to buy merch at the store. And we were just like, why? We just waited an hour and 45 minutes for another 2-hour line. Makes no sense. Let's go figure it out later. And by the end of day one, we were able to walk up and get all of our pre-order merch instantly. It was like 2-minute wait. So that we saved 2 hours. And then the merch line, and this could have been luck, but we got in line and we were like, all right, buckle up. It's going to be 3 hours to buy stuff. And then they sold out a Festival of the Box, which I thought wasn't that big of a deal. But it was such a bit, like 150 people left the line as soon as they sold out of the Festival of the Box. And I was like, really? Like there's so much cool t-shirts and, it's the only place you can get this So Salty secret layer. It's the only place.
Yeah.
And so I was just shocked. And so the whole line moved up and we're like, this is great. We don't care about Festival of the Box at all. And so you just have to keep an eye on that line and try to time your approach is what I would say. So you pick up all your stuff for all of your events. And like I said, some of the events are here. We're going to give you a kit. You're going to pre-build a deck and show up to this thing later. And that's pretty much what all of ours were, the Commander and Cocktails event. We also did a pin traders event, which I don't care about pins, but it seemed kind of interesting. And I was like, what's the exclusive gear here? Like what kind of like I was just like a blingy idiot looking for exclusives. And actually we hit pretty good on the pin traders. So when we registered for pin traders, we got a exclusive, like, I don't know if you could see, but it's like,
I'm sure Goose was just like dying with all the
well,
Ashland love.
We got separated, and so I went and picked up my kit, and it was like, oh my god, I got Ashling. I'm gonna have to trade whatever Goose got. I'll just trade him for it. But everybody got Ashling, and so he was like over the moon. But I don't know if you can really tell on here. It's a beautiful pin. It's huge. It's like gemstones. Like for people that care about pins, it's pretty cool. And then when we participated in the event, we got another pin that was a mystery pin, and I happened to pull the one pin out of all the mystery selections that I actually cared about. Gorgeous Bitter Bloom Bearer. And so
that's cool.
You just can't, it's hard to really see just how beautiful these pins are. Like truly, the artistry is amazing. I don't care about pins, but I was kind of blown away. Those were very cool.
That's cool. I mean, we went super down the rabbit hole with Disney pin trading for a few years. So I feel like that would just be, my collector gene would be super activated, and it
Yeah.
always is super activated in events like this, where I'm like, oh, I want the
Yep.
pins, and I want the patches, and I want the things that you know end up sitting on a shelf with the rest of the things that I buy that are like.
Yep. Yeah, and that same. I'm a blingy dude for sure. Like I was like free stuff. Yeah, I'm in. And
Mhm.
actually for Zach, there was another poll that I would have just handed straight to you. They did have grub as a pin, and I was like, all right, if I get the grub, I'm gonna give it to Zach. If I get bitter bloom, that's really what I
Yeah.
wanted. But yeah, there was a cool grub. I think they had both sides of her too as separate pins.
My girl.
Oh,
My
So
girl.
my girl,
your
my
eBay,
brand.
are gonna
I'm logging onto
very.
eBay currently.
I think we all
Let me
are.
know.
We're
Let me
all.
know what these pins are going for. I wouldn't be surprised if they're $40-$50. They're very high quality. Another thing we got in terms of swag, Card Kingdom was doing a scavenger hunt.
15
And
bucks.
so how much?
15 bucks right now.
Oh, yeah, get it. Get in there. Bling bling, make it happen. So if you completed Card Kingdom scavenger hunt, you get a nice gold shiny Card Kingdom coin. And of course, it was the honor system for the scavenger hunt. So I honorarily signed all of the things in the scavenger hunt and handed them my ticket. Sorry about that, Card Kingdom, but I wanted my shiny coin. You know how much I love those. So that was good. And
Yes, I do,
so,
unfortunately.
oh, did you
Speaking
hit?
of
Did you hit
which,
go?
No, your obsession with your coins and having to deal with those
yeah,
at the table.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, if anybody needs to use the tokens that we print, it would be you. Jared, who always says, "Oh yeah, I know this is a golem," and then accidentally sacrifices his golem, thinking it's a treasure. 2 turns later, it's great. That's like
Well,
every game.
every golem is a treasure. You know, that's the thing. That's the thing. Okay, well, we're going to just kind of cruise past that particular line of thinking there. I don't have everything with me, so I'll show it in a different one, but I did want to flash a signature of a play map that I've always wanted from Wizard of Barge. I did buy the when you attack me, this is who you're attacking, and I had Dakota sign it, and so there's the Barge signature right
He's
there.
such
Beautiful.
a cutie. I love it. I love that signature too. That is,
Yeah.
with the little hat. I love it so much.
So he was great. I got 2 more things from him in addition to hats and stuff. I got quite a bit of merch from those guys. I got the little keychain,
Mhm.
and then I got a set of his Tome of Tokens in foil.
Oh, you got the tokens, dude. I love that. I love his tokens. They're so cool.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Okay, so next phase. So you've signed up for your stuff. You get there. So I think the sweet spot to get to the con, if it starts at 10 a.m., is no sooner than 10:45. I swear to you. I swear. Just trust your bro on this one. If you're there at 10:30, you're going to be clustered up in lines. It's just not worth it. Just 10. I think the second day we got there at 11. And we just breezed in like we owned the place. Went right to the pickup counter, got our stuff, jumped in the merch line, and did the whole debacle. It was amazing. So around 11, give it an hour to cool off, cool your little toes down. They're gonna be hurting anyway. And so the next part of MagicCon is sort of like the my least interesting part, because I think you could just go online and buy singles. But there are some advantages of buying and selling at MagicCon. And my plan was to exploit the advantages of being at the con. So I had some very high value cards that just were never going to get traded to people. It was just, they were too niche to get traded. And so one of those cards, which I did trade away, and I was very happy with the outcome of this trade, was my original Onslaught Wooded Foothills foil.
Ooh.
And so for people that don't know, Wooded Foothills is a $20 card. Sometimes like 18 or 16, depending on the set. It's been reprinted a bunch. But in Onslaught, the foil version is about $650 to $700, depending on the month of the year.
Market's like
And
800 right now. Yeah.
So it's a great card. It's just not. I just didn't want to hold on to that kind of premium on a card that I didn't think I was going to ever be able to trade. Like just asking people I knew, hey, is anybody interested in an $800 land? And
There's like
so my goal,
there's like one person I can think of that you could do anything with that card with, and that would be a Zixa. And
I
a lot of
messaged
his
him.
stuff,
This is
he's holding on to for investment purposes. So I don't, like it's a smart move. Like you're getting to going to a con like that and using the larger pool of vendors and people trading to kind of make that exchange.
Yeah, and so that's what I would recommend to people is bring those cards that aren't going to be easy to turn into cash. Like all of us have done the thing where we tell our significant others, like it's an investment. I swear it's expensive because it's an investment, and then you never sell your stuff. Pick out some cards that aren't going to move unless you move them at a con, and just see what you could do. And so I got 95% to market TCG on my Woodafit Hills. I traded another card, and I got one of my desired acquisitions as well as 400 and something dollars cash. So the guy basically called it a store credit trade, but gave me cash. And so with store credit, you always get more. And so I traded into a Bayou plus $400 cash, which was awesome.
Dude, awesome. Is that going in your birds deck? I meant to ask you that.
It was, and then I realized that it would be better suited in my Lord Windgrace deck because that deck is a shooter, and it wants to be able to go find the right lands, and so it'll go into.
It'd be really good in my Necro Bloom deck too, if you.
It would. Yeah, it would. Well, shared custody won't be possible, unfortunately. So I did this trade. I felt really good about it.
Awesome.
Happy home to whoever gets my Wooded Foothills from a million years ago. It felt great. And at that point, I had spent less than $400 on swag. And so I felt like I was just coming out like ahead.
And then you also won that slot machine on top of all of this.
Yeah. So it was great. I did the other targets I had a few targets, like a few things I was doing on, but I really wanted to lean into lands because lands are also sometimes hit or miss at an LGS, right? Like people are always looking for them, and so you're kind of getting a crapshoot. And I figured at the con I could get all the lands I wanted, and so I'll flash these. I wanted to get the whole Turbulent set, so I went ahead and did all the Cinnamon Roll lands.
Nice.
Right. And then I tried to find as many bond lands as I could. So the ones that the battle bond / Baldur's Gate lands that come into play untapped, you have 2 or more opponents. And so I got a few of those. And then I wanted a Caracas just as a funny joke, even though it's banned. And I got my Nyxtheos Shrine of Nyx for my devotion deck, which if
nice.
I don't know if anybody's seen this, but you basically
great. I got 4 of them. For
good.
For why you have it is any mono deck, it goes right in.
My Omniscience for Dungeon Crawler Carl. Now here's something else cool. Sometimes when they have duplicates, they don't actually realize that they sold you one and they had. And so I was in my hotel room and I was like, "Oh, I got 2 Omniscience. That's cool."
Oh my god! Of course you did.
So then I got the Emeritus that I wanted because I'm probably not going to crack any more Strixhaven packs and a Force of Negation.
Dude, heck yeah. Pact of Negation.
Yes. Yeah. So those were that was it. Those were the cards that I bought. Of course you get on the airplane, you go, oh, I should have gotten this or I should have gotten that. But I think the rule here or the recommendation is try to trade some of those high value cards that aren't going to go anywhere else.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's cool too. Like you're right with the lands. It can be tough to get them like at an LGS, like without driving all over town. to try to find them. So yeah, a lot of times for those types of cards, that lands and then like kind of nichey cards, I feel like I tend to just end up I end up just ordering them online from like Manapool these days. Which, by the way, if you all haven't shopped at Manapool, it is like 100% the way right now. Like I'm such a fan. The shipping is like incredible. And it's just the interface and all that is just sorry, I've been doing quite a bit of like buying of cards recently. And I
Oh, I get the
started using
emails.
Manapool.
I
That's
get
right.
the
Yeah,
email.
because it's another
Seeing what's
shared
going on.
inbox. Yeah. So I completed a couple decks over the last few weeks, which has been nice. So I'll have some to play this month at our game night. But yeah, I think what's really cool is like, and this is I was talking to Goose about this is like being an observer from the outside looking into the convention. A lot of the content that I was seeing posted was really focused on like, here's what I'm bringing. They had like the backpack shows and or like the luggage openings or whatever. That's like pre-con. The con itself was a lot of like event showing. So like, opening the alpha pack on stream where they pulled a power surge, I think was the card that they pulled. Actually, I think the card they were most excited about was a lightning bolt, which is
They got
hilarious.
a Landmore Elves and a lightning bolt,
Lightning
which are
bolt,
the big
yeah,
hits.
Land Wars.
The rare
Yeah.
sucked.
Yeah, the rare. I mean, the rare is good, but it's like not the rare you want from an alpha pack. And then afterwards was a lot of like it's been a lot of like I spent too much money and here's how I'm paying for it, or how do I go back to my normal life when I just left the con, which is all like valid and totally how I would probably feel too. But the thing that I don't see that I love that you did, Jared, was like, here are the things that like you really need to know about just going to a conference because like you need good shoes, you need here's how you should carry your stuff, like times to arrive, like all of those things that I feel like is just it's not super advertised. So I thought this has been awesome. I've learned a ton because we haven't really chatted since you wrapped up. I know you've been busy this week, so I'm just like I'm super glad you and Goose got to go, and you showed up big time for the group, but also like coming back and just sharing this knowledge, I think is very very helpful for those that would want to go to this con or any other con. Honestly,
Yeah, I think the two things I would love to see people do with this information is number one, not make the mistakes that I made. And number two, come to the next one with us. Come with us. Like, we would love to have a bigger group next time. I think we've got plenty of time to get to November, but let's roll deep, y'all. I think let's get a block of rooms at a hotel in Atlanta and just have a blast. That would be the only way to top my Vegas experience is getting to spend con time with more of the people that I love to be with. So, and that's no shade on Greg or Stevie or Goose. I just want more. I'm a big boy. I got a big appetite, so I just want more. So let's do it.
I already started setting aside for November for MagicCon Atlanta. I'm after seeing like your guys' excitement and everything that came out of that, I've like no question in my mind, do I want to go?
yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, Anything else you want to share, Jared? Before I mean, if I'm like full of information at this point. This was really really cool, just to hear about your experience.
No, I mean, I guess we could look to chat if chat has any questions. I know we've been negligent to chat because this has been such a, we've been deep in the topic. So I just want to see. Oh my God, Evelyn, girl, I was looking for that Bumbleflower for you. I sent Evelyn a text message. The only one I saw was $1,250. I died. I
Oh
absolutely
my
died.
god!
And so I was like, I really wanted to find like a $300 or $400 one and just go, Evelyn, you want me to you want me to spot you for this? But 1250 was the best I found. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
Some vendors were hiking up prices like
Oh,
like
sure.
there is a
Of course.
disparity. Some vendors are very fair. The person I traded my stuff to, I felt like was extremely fair. And then some of them, you're like, okay, you're at the wrong con. But anyway, let's look at chat.
No, I
Some of
haven't seen
the
anything super like pressing or like any questions. I did put a Q&A, but I think we answered all the questions because no one left any.
nice.
I love it.
Hunter
I love
Hunter did ask if we had any thoughts about the spoilers from the con.
Yeah.
I definitely do. I'm the spoilers from The Hobbit. I'm really excited about a lot of them. Obviously, with some of the controversy, there's that, but the new cards that they're printing for Hobbit are freaking cool.
I
And
want to
something I saw,
build that mythic Bilbo so badly, and Smaug is so cool.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
building Thorn, like
Oh,
100%.
Thorn's awesome, yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
So you actually jogged my memory on a story. So one of the things you do at these artist booths, or one of the things we chose to do because we're snarky and charismatic individuals, is try to get artists to reveal things they shouldn't reveal to you. And I'm not going to call out anything on the podcast because everybody's been lovely, but I'll tell you one funny story because I don't think she would mind. We were talking to Justine, and she did the Sauron, she did all the posters for Lord of the Rings, and so Greg's big acquisition for the weekend was to get a Sauron poster signed by Justine. And Goose ended up doing that too, just because he just wanted to get in on the fun. And so we said, Justine, can you tell us anything about any of the projects that are coming up for you? And she was like, I can't tell you anything. It's really exciting. There's going to be some powerful cards coming out, yada, yada, yada. And we were like, well, can you tell us if it's Hobbit or not? And she said something like, oh, don't start with me on that. They didn't ask me to come back for Hobbit, which I thought was really interesting because there was like a tinge of like disappointment there, but she also was like equally really excited about whatever this other thing is. And so it's funny too, just to see the human component come out. Like, I think she would have loved to do another poster series. And I think the Hobbit art style is decidedly different than the first ring style. And so it kind of makes sense. And I think she wasn't like spiteful or anything, but you could just tell it was like one of those. And so it was kind of funny. And like Wizard of Barge, Dakota, we were talking to him about the Goblin deck that's coming for Secret Lair, which he's really excited about. And he was like, oh my God, that's been just like 24/7 for me because I didn't, a lot of these Secret Lair decks don't come with a ton of custom art cards. It's usually 12 or 15. And they had given me a list of 40 that I could contribute, do at least 12 or 15, but here's a list of 40, so that you could pick what you feel is best. And he said, Jared, I've been like burning the midnight oil to try to get as close to 40 as I can. And I think you'll be really excited to see what comes of it. And so, some of that, like just getting people to, just open up a little bit was another fun thing. So Hunter, thank you for reminding me on spoilers, because that was a topic that came up.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah,
I'm super excited for the sets coming up. Very excited.
Same.
Especially Reality Fracture. I think that is like the most exciting thing that was talked about. All the leaks were basically, confirmed, or not basically, they were all confirmed to be true. It's Hexhaven. We've got the allied colors for schools. And we're going to see like the, the dual-sided, or not dual-sided, but color-flipped versions of all these famous characters.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the Blue Chandra, but
she's so cracked. She's so
of course I am.
It's disgusting how good of a card she is, and I hate it.
Yeah. Listen, we'll make a blue player out of you yet.
Me, I've played blue. Or are you talking Hunter?
I know you've played blue. No, not Hunter. I don't. Hunter. I accept Hunter for the player that he is. but I want to get one or two more people a bit more in the control-y space, Staxy space.
Man,
Oh, it's Carl.
3 of the
So
5
Carl,
decks that I've played on
because
misplays have had blue in them. I don't know what more you want from me.
I just,
more blue.
I don't, you advertise yourself so strongly as, Rakdos, to the Macdos. Um, I think I'll get you, starting to, you know, talk more Azorius and
Not after
yeah,
that last game. You can't convince me.
that
Oops.
was a fun game.
I can't wait to throw more expensive lands just on the table anywhere, any old
Yeah.
place.
This freaking guy.
MK is asking Jace, what colors is Jace color shifted? I can't remember.
So they
He
haven't
is
said, but like he's in sort of like a white robe, and then like the
white.
only precon that deck is gonna have is gonna be. It looks like he's the commander for it. Is white, blue, black, and red. So he's
Yeah, no
probably
green.
gonna be that. Is my assumption.
Oh,
Yep.
I see. He'll be all 4. Yeah. Okay.
Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
because I think the whole
It would be
story
cool to
point is that he ends up creating this like
alternate reality.
fracture.
Yeah, he creates this like alternate universe. I forget what they end up calling it, but to basically undo the Phyrexian invasion and the mess of the Eldrazi's, and also goes and like basically tries to make the Jace perfect world, which is how we get like a different version of Chandra, because him and Chandra have always butted heads. And yeah, Echoverse. Thank you, Hunter. Echoverse.
I would love to see them continue on, the Earth One storyline, if you will, for like a good year or two in universe sets. That would be super cool. Now I know that would be committing to a lot of color pie, mismatching, and they don't love to do a ton of that, but oh my god, that would be like the most I would love to go to an Innistrad that's like color shifted in weird ways. That would be like my ultimate dream. Is let's go
Azorius
to
vampires.
yeah,
Oh
like
God.
Bazaar. Yeah, yes, exactly. Or
Or I guess it'd be.
Bant,
I guess
vampire.
it would be Simic vampires, because Simic is the like exact opposite of what Rakdos is.
Well, but
Hmm.
vampires in
No,
Innistrad
it'd be
are 3 colors.
Azorius.
So
It'd be Azorius because it'd be, black, red to white, blue.
or
Right?
whatever the opposite of Mardu is, if we're going the 3 color. It'd be
Yeah, I
like
guess. Yeah.
it would be
Yeah.
like I don't even know. It
Esper.
would be super cool. It would be cool. Black werewolves or
See,
something.
Evelyn gets me. Evelyn
blue
gets me.
werewolf.
Red black Bumbleflower would be amazing. Let's do it.
Oh, I'm in. I mean, look, red black is already the group hug color pair.
Yeah.
And so
You and I
think
agree there.
You guys are
Of course,
sick.
If I'm
course.
playing your cards, that's group hug. You're also winning with me.
Sharing is caring. You know what I'm saying?
Oh boy. Oh boy. You guys
Ian's
and
like,
your
all right,
you
let's wrap
guys
this up, boys.
you
Let's
guys
wrap.
and your Rakdos. All right.
Oh, man.
Well,
Anything else for the night?
yeah, I don't have anything else. This has been so cool. Thank you, Jared,
Yeah.
for jumping on and sharing all the conference stuff with us. And man, that video with BDM is so cool. I'm just blown away with what you guys were able to do when you were there.
I'm so happy we got BDM. I'm so
Big
happy we got
shout out.
Gavin in a video. Like that was awesome.
Yeah, yeah. In the red suit too. In the
The
iconic,
red suit.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Well, sweet. I don't think we have anything else to talk about tonight. So yeah, I'm just very appreciative, Jared, that you were able to go bring everything back, all the knowledge, the fun, the trivia, the lore of everything.
Yeah.
I'll never look at your Curses deck the same.
So good.
And I'm just just happy that you got to experience that.
Yep.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, thanks all for joining. If you're not in our Discord, definitely jump into our Discord. There's a lot going on in there. We're growing
stuff
every
is happening.
day. The website. Oh, we didn't even say this from the con, Jared. I don't know if I gave you these numbers, but we almost doubled the number of active users on the website from folks that you were talking to in the conference. in addition to people that were seeing the article that we started posting this last week. So we've had a lot of new users in the site, a lot of new features in the site. We're going to put out a Patreon update for this month with all the stuff that's come out that's new. So, if you're not in our group, please feel free to join. We'd love to have you. We got a great group of folks. Lots of fun stuff going on. Lots of energy and momentum in the past couple weeks with the site, with the Discord, with what we're doing. So yeah, join our Discord. Check us out on Patreon. Subscribe here on YouTube. Check out our Instagram. All the things. We'd appreciate any support you can give us. And thanks again for hanging out with us on a Thursday night. It's always the highlight of my week to get to spend with those on stream, both on camera and off camera. Thanks for everyone in chat for participating. MK, you'll get first dibs on any merch we do since you came up with the idea. And thank you everybody again for just an awesome night. Have a good rest of your week, and we will talk to you all very soon.
See y'all later.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks again.
Bye.